Hello there and welcome back to another episode of the Photography Made Simple podcast with me, your host, Audrey-Anne from Live Snap Love. Now, here at Live Snap Love, we are known for creating really easy to follow, very step-by-step, in-depth programs in all areas of photography, from shooting to editing for beginners and for more advanced photographers. And if you have been around a while, or maybe you've just come into our world and stumbled across our courses, you'll see that we have 2 photography shooting programs available. And by shooting, I mean, what you do in camera. And those are Auto to Awesome and Advanced Light and Composition. Now, one of these is aimed more at beginners and the other is a more advanced class for those who are intermediates rather than beginners. So essentially, Auto to Awesome is our beginner's course and Advanced Light and Composition is our advanced next level course. In fact, the Advanced Light and Composition program is meant as the next step after you've taken Auto to Awesome. But a question I get asked all the time is which of these courses is right for me? So if you are wondering the same thing, in today's podcast, I'm going to break down what course might suit you best based on what skills you currently have and where you want to get to. So I'm going to compare them both. I'm going to talk about what's included in each one, who they're meant for, what you will learn, and that way you can see which course is the best option for you. Now, if you are listening to this in real time, the reason I'm doing this today is because the doors to Advanced Light and Composition opened today. Now, we only open the doors to this program once, maybe twice a year, and now is one of those times. So I thought it'd be a great time to address that question, and you can learn more about Advanced Light and Composition and see whether it's for you or whether you'd be better to start with Auto to Awesome first before you dive into Advanced Light and Composition. One more thing is that we are also releasing a free class today all about how to use light and composition to take your photos to the next level. So if you want to go and watch that, it's getting released today. So if you want to go and watch that, go to livesnaplove.com/light-class and go and sign up to watch it, and you'll get a link to watch it. I will also post a link to that around where you're listening to this podcast. Plus, you can go to the show notes for this episode at livesnaplove.com/21, and I'll have links to everything I mention in this episode, going direct to the sales page for Advanced Light and Composition, watching that free class, and links to Auto to Awesome and other things that I think you might like. Okay, so before we get into the differences between those 2 programs, Auto to Awesome and Advanced Light and Composition, let me tell you what both courses have in common. Because all our courses follow the same thing. They are all 100% online. That means that you don't have to be anywhere for any live sessions. You don't have to be on Facebook. You don't have to go anywhere. They're all 100% online, which means that you can watch at a time that suits. So the classroom is open 24/7. Doesn't matter where in the world you are. You can go ahead, dive in, and just pick up where you left off. So if that means the best time to learn is at 5 o'clock in the morning before the kids get up, or, in the afternoon when you get a spare hour before you have to go and pick the kids up from school, or just at night when everyone else has gone to bed, then you get to go sign in, pick up where you left off at a time that suits you. The second thing the courses are always entirely self-paced. So instead of doing 4-week or 6-week or 8-week long programs, we give you lifetime access to the course materials. And what this means is you can literally go at your own pace. We also give you access to every single module and every single lesson the second you enroll. And the reason I have done that is because I've been in courses before where they release a module a week, and sometimes I've got more time one week and I'm finished the module and I could have gone on and done the next one, but it's not released yet. And then later on in the program, something happens, child gets sick, just get really busy, and then I fall behind. So what I wanted to do was make sure that our courses were completely flexible and that you could literally work through at a time and pace that suits you. So everything is entirely self-paced. They all contain step-by-step video lessons, downloadable cheat sheets, it might be diagrams, anything basically that will help you work through the program. So all our lessons are really in depth. They're step by step. We literally go through everything step by step. So when you go in, you work through the course step by step. You go from one lesson to the next, and each one leads on from the next, so that you're learning everything in order and in the way that makes the most sense. Believe me, I spend a lot of man hours creating these programs and making sure that they are easy to follow and step by step as possible. And so that you have all that knowledge in a more easy to digest format after you've watched the videos, we also have that in, the information on simple cheat sheets. If it's the lighting program, we have diagrams, just so that you can print those out and they act as that refresher to those really in-depth step-by-step lessons. So you're learning the concept, and then you've got the downloadable cheat sheets, diagrams, and everything that will help you then remember it when you're putting it into practice. Because we always have exercises and homework. I always say that knowledge without practice is useless, just as is practice without knowledge. You need both. You need to learn the concept, and then you need to go and put it into action. So we always have a number of exercises and homework in every single module, and that helps you go out and practice what you've learned in the step-by-step video lessons. Now, we also give either behind the scenes videos or camera demos, depending on what you're learning in that particular lesson. Again, I want you to be able to see it in real life so you know exactly what you should be doing. And that way you don't have to guess, and you're able to actually see it happening. So we always have that in there as well. Again, that's just like behind the scenes, might be image pullback, so you can see exactly where everybody was at the time the image was taken. It might be a video, it might just be an over the shoulder look at setting up the camera, whatever you need to make that particular piece of homework or lesson come alive. The other thing we always offer is bonus materials and resources, because sometimes things don't maybe fit very neatly into our core curriculum. And as I say, I want it to be step by step, that each one lesson leads on from the last. And sometimes things just don't maybe fit in there that neatly, or they're just a bonus resource to help you get it done more quickly, or to kind of get more advanced in a certain area. So we have those as well. And for example, with Auto to Awesome, we have some foundational ones that almost like a pre-course to Auto to Awesome, and then what you can do when you finish the program. So we normally have some kind of time-saving resource and something that allows you to take the concepts that you've learned in the program even further. So literally in each program, we give you absolutely everything you need, all laid out for you in the order that you need to learn it. So our goal is to make sure that everything is extremely easy to follow, very step by step, so that you never feel lost, never feel overwhelmed, never feel like we've skipped something out. You literally have everything you need in that step by step guide, and you have all the resources in order to do this as quickly as possible, but never feel that you have to keep up with me because we haven't released a module yet, or, we're going too fast for you. Want it to be extremely flexible so that it fits around your lifestyle, and you can get the program done at a time that suits you. Okay, so that is what is the same between those two programs. Doesn't matter actually which program you take. We also have editing programs, Launch into Lightroom and Magic of Photoshop, and everything is the same. Everything is step by step, and we give you everything you need to complete the course as quickly as humanly possible and put everything into action. But of those courses that we're talking about today, Auto to Awesome and Advanced Light and Composition, each one serves a different level of photographer. So let's turn our attention now to who each program is for and what you will learn in each one. So let's start with Auto to Awesome. So Auto to Awesome is aimed at beginners, or to those who have been shooting for a while, but who don't feel in control of their camera yet. So if you're brand new to photography, never shot in manual mode, and you're not yet taking control of things like focus, or your white balance, or at least not well, then Auto to Awesome is 100% definitely the one for you. Because in this course, you are going to learn about the building blocks of exposure. So aperture, shutter speed, and ISO, what each one does, how it affects your photos, all the different factors that should come into consideration when you're choosing the numbers. Now, as a side note, most people who are self-taught never think about some of these because they never got taught them. So we're filling in that gaps in knowledge. And that's why I'm saying it's maybe not just if you're a brand new photographer, but if you are missing those gaps in your knowledge. You're also going to learn how to shoot in manual mode, get perfect exposure each time, either using the camera meter as a guide, equally knowing when to shoot over and under, so we ignore the camera meter with or without tools. You're also going to learn the basics of working with light, and that is because you can't learn about shooting in manual mode without also learning about light. So the two go hand in hand, and that's why sometimes if you're missing one element, the other doesn't make sense. So we make sure that you have that information. We give you strategies for working with both indoor and outdoor light, and with different types of light, like sunny days or overcast days. We also teach you about getting accurate color in your images. And this is a big one for many people. We also teach you about how to get tack sharp photos. So we go into my FAST framework, which shows you exactly what you need to do to get tack sharp images by choosing the right mix of the different focusing modes and different focusing techniques based on what you want to photograph. So it almost becomes like a pick and mix based on what you're photographing. And we have that elements that you need to consider in that FAST framework that allows you to make those right decisions depending on whether your subject is still, whether they're stationary, whether their movement is erratic, whether it's predictable. We give you all the strategies to make sure that you get accurate, tack sharp images. And also we go into some composition tools and guides that you can use to transform your photos from being snapshots into being something more artistic and engaging. So you can see that in that program, what we're really doing is we're giving you this holistic program that teaches you all the key elements of photography, teaches you exposure, light, composition, focus, and color and composition all in one place, so that you have everything you need in order to get out there and start creating images that you love with your camera. So who is this course aimed at? So as I said, if you're a new photographer, it's a no-brainer. This is a program for you. It will allow you to skip years of frustration and trial and error and really help you to fast track your growth. If you are still shooting in auto or any of the semi-automatic modes like aperture, priority, and you've not yet made that switch to manual mode, again, this is the course for you. It's also the course for you if you don't consider yourself a complete beginner, but you can't consistently get images that have correct exposure, are dark sharp, have accurate color, or you don't yet know how to use, even the basics of lighting and composition. So what we do have is a lot of people who come in, they've tried to teach themselves photography online, they've picked up lots of bits of knowledge, but because they have missed out on key chunks of information, they don't yet feel in control. So if that's you, even if you're not a beginner, but you're not yet confident in all these areas, and you feel like you're missing gaps in your knowledge, then you probably are, then this is the course for you as well. Now, I could wax lyrical about this program all day long, but I want to move on to talking about the next program, and that is Advanced Light and Composition. But I will say we have hundreds of testimonials about Auto to Awesome. So I will link to them as well. We've got a review page, which I haven't updated recently, but you'll give you the idea and you can see exactly what people think of that program. But I want to move on now to talking about advanced light and composition, because advanced light and composition was created especially as this next step course after Auto to Awesome. So it was aimed at those who want to go even further on their photography journey, who want to be pushed out of their comfort zone, who want to get their photos to that next level, who want to get to expert status. So if you've been shooting a while, you can shoot in manual mode. You're getting sharp focus most of the time anyway. Not everyone has 100% hit rate, but most of the time you're guaranteed that you're going to get most of your shots in focus. You have a simple knowledge of light and composition strategies like the ones we teach in Auto to Awesome. Then you are ready for advanced light and composition. So if you've taken Auto to Awesome, this is the perfect next step program for you because it was literally created with you in mind. If you haven't taken Auto to Awesome, but you do feel comfortable about exposure, sharp focus, you're getting good in-camera images, but you really feel like you want to take your images to that next level. You want to make more magical images, then this is a program for you. Because in this course, we build on what you learned in Auto to Awesome, or just the simple basic strategies about lighting composition that many people learn. We are going to go even deeper with that. So in this program, this is where you learn about all the dynamics and characteristics of light. And that way you can walk into any situation and assess the light you have available. So we're getting more nuanced in how we look and see light. So this really helps you move beyond thinking in terms of good light and bad light. And if you can't see me, I'm doing inverted commas there in the air, and instead be able to see the light around you and assess it. And that means that when you are able to assess the light, all its characteristics, you know exactly how you can work with it. And there's a myriad of different ways you can work with each type of light. And this gives you that information you need to be able to make those decisions. We then move on to how to use indoor light effectively. And again, we are building on what we've learned in Auto to Awesome. So yes, it refreshes a little bit of that basic knowledge because absolutely what you learn in Auto to Awesome is that fundamental part of working with it. But we then go that step beyond. We talk about using lighting patterns for more next level portraits, just that little tweaks in direction that can make a massive difference. We talk about using additive or subtractive light, also the inverse square law, feathering, diffusing, so much more. So again, we're going way beyond using light from the front, back and side. We are getting really nuanced with our use of light indoors. After we have spoken about indoor light, we then move on to shooting outdoors, and you'll get loads of tricks and techniques for that as well. So we'll talk about shooting in full sun, using open and covered shade, shooting on cloudy days, and we'll use all the same tricks that we learned for indoor light. So additive and subtractive light, lighting patterns, inverse square law, feathering, and so on. And this time we'll apply them outdoors. So we're, again, as I said at the beginning, we take the knowledge and we do it really step by step. So actually working with indoor light, and this is true whether you're a beginner or more experienced, it's easier to start with indoor light and learn the concepts there. It's easier to control and then move out into the big world where it's harder to control because you've got to use what's around you and deal with it more than you do indoors. So again, we are using what we learned in Auto to Awesome, where we also talk about full sun and we also talk about cloudy days and we also talk about shade, and we are advancing that. Again, we are moving your knowledge on to that next level. We also then talk about backlit images, and we actually have a whole module on this all by itself because there is so much you can do here. And again, we can actually use backlight indoor and out as well. So this is where we talk about lens flare, how to control haze, the conditions that you need to get dramatic rim light or just highlight atmospheric elements. And then we go next level with silhouettes. Again, we're moving everything on. And this is the key thing to understand is we're moving everything on to the next level. So although we talk about, using different lighting directions and we use about sunny days and cloudy days, and we talk about backlight in Auto to Awesome, we're taking that basic knowledge and then moving that on. We're going to that next level so that you can learn all that different nuances, make that little tweaks, make that adjustments, really take them to the next level, make them more expert, make them look more magical. So that's what we're doing there. And so, as I said, this course is called Advanced Light and Composition. So we're not only talking about light, we're also talking about composition. And again, this is where we're moving on from the strategies we learned in Auto to Awesome. So in Auto to Awesome, we cover some basic techniques, really useful, exactly where you want to be at the start of your photography journey. But now we are going to move it up a notch. So we are going to get more in depth on how to use color to create more, jaw-dropping photos. So we're using things like color theory, chromatic contrast, chromatic repetition and association. Everything you need to know about how to use color in your images is in this module. And there is so many different ways to use color. And again, this can really make your images look incredibly striking. Then in the final module, we go into more advanced composition tools. And this, again, we're moving on from the basics. No more rule of thirds here. We're going the golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence, gone to about using depth and dimension, how to create images that look like you could reach out and touch them. Really going far more advanced into more in-depth composition tools that are more tricky to use. So, it's not like you should actually learn these to begin with. If you did, it'd probably put you off photography because they're very difficult, or not very difficult to use. They're more difficult to understand. Whereas, the rule of thirds is a very simple one to use, for example. Great for when you're starting out. But then when you start to think, all my photos are using the same thing. They're all using leading lines and they're all using rule of thirds, for example. This is where you come. You start moving on to these more advanced ones. They're a little bit more tricky about where to place things in the frame. But because they're trickier to do, they give your images that next level expert status. And again, once you get used to them, they're not difficult. They're just difficult if you're a beginner. But once you're ready for that, once you've got the beginner strategies down and you're ready to move on to these, it's not that difficult once you know exactly how to do it. And especially when you can see lots of examples, which is exactly what we give you, lots of examples showing all that compositional tools and how they're being used in different types of photos. Okay, so that's what you'll learn inside Advanced Light and Composition. So this is a course for you if you are shooting in manual mode and you're pretty confident when it comes to choosing your settings and you have that good grounding of photography basis. Now, you don't need to be shooting in manual mode all the time, but you need to understand the principles of it. So if you prefer to shoot in, aperture priority mode, but you understand why you need to maybe hold the exposure there or where you need to expose for and all those things, and you understand how to do it, but just not in manual mode, that's fine. But as long as you understand that principles of shooting in manual mode, how to choose your settings, where to expose for, and you have that really good grounding in photography basics, you're getting that tack sharp images, then, you've covered that. And this is for you if you then want to get to that next level. So many people who come to the program, were happy with the images they're getting. They know that they're good, but they feel like they've hit a plateau. And that they're taking the same photos in the same way all the time. And basically, they're ready to learn more. They want to up-level their use of light and composition to take captivating photos. So this is really when you feel that you've hit that level, you've hit the level, you've hit, you're maintaining that level, but now you want to go beyond it. Because you want to get more creative with your images, you're ready to play around with different light sources, with color, with different composition rules. In other words, you want to break out of your comfort zone and you want to go next level. And if you want to take your portraits up a notch, you want to get more nuance with your lighting so you can get the absolute best results. You want to be able to make sure you can get results you love in any location, any time of day with minimal gear. Again, this is for you. And it's also for you if you want to gain more confidence with your camera and just dive even deeper into the world of photography. Now, I want to put a little caveat into this because Some people, and this is really depends on you. Some people are perfectly happy with what they learn in Auto to Awesome, and they're happy to stay there. They don't want to get any more advanced than that. And other people just constantly crave more and more knowledge. I am one of those people. I always want to go to the next level. So it makes absolute sense for me to keep creating courses that push you to that next level. So I have a friend and he has a DSLR camera, and he has used it in auto mode for day one. And he's had the camera for around 10 years, never going to move out of it, perfectly happy. So it doesn't really, he wouldn't even want to go to Auto to Awesome. That's not the level he wants to go to. He's happy where it is. Other people want to make sure that they can get that fantastic, in-camera images. They go to Auto to Awesome. Some are happy to stay with what they learn there. And others, as I say, want to keep going. If you are one of the ones who want to keep going, then Advanced Light and Composition is for you. Now, I also want to talk about something that we're doing this time around with Advanced Light and Composition that we have never done before with any of our programs. And I am really excited about being able to offer this. And that is, we are giving you the opportunity to get one-to-one feedback on your photos. Now, people have been asking for this for some time. They want to go a little bit further. They want to get that feedback. They want to learn, what they could do to improve, or maybe just suggestions about how they could take it in a different direction, not necessarily improve it, but just ideas for other images you could possibly have taken or things you could have done. And also what they're doing right, just that confirmation. Yep, you've absolutely got this spot on. You've nailed it. This is maybe some suggestions of other things you could do at the same time. But, you're getting that feedback on your photos. So with Advanced Light and Composition, we're offering 2 tiers. Self-study, just go through the program on your own time, own place. So if you are happy with that, that is what you want to be. But for those of you who want more, who want that feedback on your photo, who want some kind of troubleshooting, want to get help when you're stuck, then we have our VIP level, and that's where you're going to get that one-on-one feedback on your photos. So as I say, I'm really excited about being able to offer this. It's the first time we've done it. If all goes well and people are interested in this, then absolutely we'll be rolling this out to other courses as well. Now, honestly, as this is brand new, I have absolutely no idea how many people will take us up on this. But there are going to be limited spots available as a VIP. Obviously, we can only work with so many people at any one time. So if this does sound like something you might want, make sure that you go and check out Advanced Light and Composition today, because the doors are open for our early birds. You can go and get some early bird bonuses, and you'll get first dibs on that one-to-one spots. So that's it for today. That is our lowdown on who is good for Auto to Awesome and who is good for Advanced Light and Composition. And I hope it has helped you decide which one of those might be for you. Now, as always, we are here and on hand to help if you have any questions about either of those programs, or you just want to chat through whether it is right for you. So you can absolutely get in touch with me on social media. You'll find me on Facebook and Instagram as @LiveSnapLove. Come along. Just send me a private message there and we can absolutely chat. You can go to the sales page for Advanced Light and Composition, which is open now. You'll find a yellow help button on the bottom right there that will allow you to chat to us in real time if we're online. If not, it will send us a message and we'll get back to you. Or you can email us. And again, I'll link to our contact form where you can get in touch with us over at the show notes for this episode at livesnaplove.com/21. So don't sit there thinking, oh, I'm not sure about this, or I'm not sure about that, I'm not sure if this is for me. Come and get in touch, we'll help you out. I absolutely will not let you take a program that I do not feel is a good fit for you. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm this type of photographer, or I'm at this level, I'm not sure if I'll learn anything new, or something along those lines, I'm not going to let you take the program. It doesn't bode well for me. We have thousands of students, hundreds of testimonials, and it doesn't do us any good to have somebody in the program it's not a good fit for. We want people who are going to come into our programs and go, wow, that was amazing. And most importantly, that took your photography to the next level, whatever that next level might be for you. Okay, thank you so much for being here. And again, you'll find the links to everything that we mentioned in this episode at livesnaplove.com/21. You'll find links to the Advanced Light and Composition course. You'll find links to that free class that I mentioned. You will find links to get in touch with us. You'll find links to Auto to Awesome. Anything else that I think might be of interest to you and that I've forgotten I've mentioned while chatting, I will link to it all in the show notes for this episode. All right, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you again, same time, same place next week. Bye for now.